for that for about 24 hours. And then they went right back to hating the guy. This statue was another PR attempt. He wanted to make himself look rather grand and glorious as a king. But when you look at the statue, there are several things wrong with it. First of all, keeping in mind that this is Scotland in the 1600s, how is the king dressed?
Like a Greek
Like a Roman. Looks a bit goofy. Looks like he's off to a fancy dress party. The second thing that's wrong with the statue, if anybody knows anything about riding horses, what's the statue missing? What's the rider missing, rather?
Saddle.
Stirrups. Yeah, looks a bit silly. The third thing that's wrong with the statue is they tried to make Charles look really big compared to the horse. Unfortunately, this backfired a bit. Looks more like the horse is very small compared to the king. That combined with the lack of saddle and stirrups makes it look more like he's riding a donkey than a horse. So, not quite what you want your king to be looking like. So if you can imagine, people would walk by the statue every day, and they'd look up, and they'd say, look, it's our king, and he's dressed in fancy dress, and he's riding a donkey. Isn't that funny? Well, King couldn't have people laughing at him. It was rather treasonous, actually. So he designed a ceremony where local boys would climb to the top of the statue once a year and crown it. Oh, that's a nice enough idea, I suppose. Except, as I've already said, the statue is made of lead. Lead is a very soft metal. The crown they used was made of iron. Iron is a very hard and heavy metal. And the crown actually put little holes into the top of the statue's head. Now, Scotland, being a very rainy country, water started to leak into the holes. The statue started to fill, and over time started to lean to the side with the weight of the water.
I heard about this.
Well, now when people walk by the statue, they'd look up and they'd say, look, it's our king, and he's dressed in fancy dress, and he's riding a drunk donkey. That's funny. Well, the king couldn't have people laughing at him, so it was decided that the water should be drained from the statue. Okay, fair enough. Where are we going to put the hole? Well, whoever they chose to decide where the hole was going to go did not have their head screwed on, because they put the hole on the horse's belly right near its back legs. Can you see where I'm going with this? Now every time people walk by the statue, they'd look up and they'd say, look, it's our king, and he's dressed in fancy dress, and he's riding a drunk donkey that's peeing everywhere. Well, the king came up at this point. He ordered that a modesty board be built around the bottom of the statue, so all you would have been able to see was from the torso up of both king and rider. But the king's reputation never really recovered after that. They thought he was a bit of a moron. Anyway, so that's the statue of Charles II.